What's up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may happen to be. Every once in a while, we get some really gigantic news and kind of some revalidation of some of the things that we know is going on right now. Today, I did find a couple of those things. I wanted to start off by prefacing this where this is not financial advice, but certainly not for entertainment purposes only either. I suggest that everybody does their own research in this space. All right, so if you're not aware, Accenture is an absolute monstrosity. And this came out about 3 days ago. This is a job application for banking management consulting senior manager out of Boston, Massachusetts. Now, they're talking about their payments practice overview. The payments practice is a part of the financial service North America Banking Client Service Group, which provides consulting and outsourcing services to retail banking and payment clients through the United States and Canada. Serving more than 600 unique clients, 24 countries, banks, networks, merchants, fintechs, payment platforms. Among Accenture's clients are more than 89% of the financial service companies in the Fortune Global 500. Obviously very, very big. We do know that Accenture has been a Ripple partner for quite some time. And I want to move forward a little bit even more within this because this is more of a recent document here. And underneath the actual job description, as far as experience is concerned, you have normal things like bachelor's degree, 10 years plus experience in banking, things like that. Core payments, including retail and corporate payments, particular in ACH, which is obviously basically the debit card network in the United States. Wires, EFT, SWIFT, faster payments, payments messaging, and ISO 20022. Also, deeply ingrained in this is blockchain and Ripple. And then we see down below blockchain and distributed ledger, open banking, open APIs. Just to kind of give you an idea of what Accenture is looking at for RippleNet. And this goes back a couple of years. This job application is 3 days old. This goes back a couple of years. This is literally showing a figure within a document from Accenture saying that Accenture's payment scheme, operating model framework, and its components have Ripple's distributed ledger technology as the core infrastructure and under control of the participating banks within Accenture's ecosystem. Let me read that again. I just basically stated that 89% of the Fortune Global 500 financial services companies are running Accenture software programs and mechanisms. And this that was a newer document, obviously. We've seen that before, how big Accenture is. But this is actually literally stating that Ripple's distributed ledger technology is a core infrastructure and under control of those participating banks. Infrastructure covers the DLT network provided by Ripple. The integration required for banks to connect the network, including any message translation. ISO 20022. Interesting. ISO 20022 we see right in the job description as well. If you want to look at what that infrastructure looks like, this is their payment scheme operating model framework. And again, this is from a few years ago. Scheme components, the infrastructure, the core infrastructure is Ripple's distributed ledger technology and the platform integration, which is D plus H. If you're not aware, D plus H, this kind of does show you, this is back in, I think, 2016, 2017. D plus H merged with, and D plus H also has patents with RippleNet, merged with a company called Misys to form Finastra. And we've all seen that Finastra is on-demand liquidity enabled. The utilization of XRP is a capability within Finastra's platform. So very, very, very interesting. I wanted to move forward. I've been trying to keep these videos shorter. And again, apologies for not being around for the past week and a half or so, but I've just been extremely busy. This is Gautam Pillai, and I'm definitely pronouncing this dude's name wrong. He is a CFA, Executive Director at Goldman Sachs. Now, he's talking about being interested in voice payments, using Alexa to order and authorize payments. This was actually probably from 4 or 5 days ago. It was an interview, off-the-mic interview from Goldman Sachs. Last but not least, interested in blockchain technology and what it means for payments ranging from central bank digital currencies to a lot of the unique kinds of coins or digital currencies available in the world. He's saying that we might not see the emergence of those things coming mainstream in the near term, the immediate near term. But down the line, they're interesting technology platforms or infrastructures on which new payment methods can be built. Well, Goldman Sachs has been putting out patents. Their last patent that I did a video on September 14th literally talks about utilizing XRP as a potential mechanism for transaction validations to eliminate Nostro and Vostro inefficiencies, which is the kind of the upfront and the back end locked liquidity and promissory agreements between two transacting parties, eliminating those inefficiencies, unlocking that liquidity, and utilizing XRP for transaction validations. And this is recent as well, obviously. You can look into their new digital banking platform, which is being underpinned by Volante's Volpay, which we have also seen as XRP enabled. Thank you, Matthew Liny, for asking that question. All right, moving forward, last but not least, we have gigantic news coming out of Hedera Hashgraph. Shinhan Bank to conduct stablecoin international remittance proof of concept on Hedera's network in partnership with major multinational bank. This is talking about Shinhan, the Hedera consensus service, and this use case that has already been flushed out. They've completed the development of a proof of concept. What's really interesting to me with these things is that we did just see probably a few months ago that Shinhan was added as a governing board member into Hedera Hashgraph. We can see them right here. Which these banks do not move quickly, in my opinion. So this proof of concept being completed or being announced as being completed yesterday leads me to believe that this proof of concept was probably in the works for at least a year, if not way longer than a year, probably about 2 years or so. And it's just really interesting because we see that across the board here, like these announcements that come out that after the fact, but so much utility is being developed within the Hedera Hashgraph ecosystem. If you're not aware, check out MTech and Project New Dawn, what the HBAR Foundation is doing with the grants to facilitate more utility into that network. It's just it's an absolutely insane, it's an insane network, and I've been a big avid supporter of Hedera Hashgraph for quite some time. Probably spring of last year is when I really started getting into it a little bit more. But yeah, they're minting South Korean won-backed stablecoins, and the partnering bank will mint stablecoins backed by their local currency. Users will be able to buy Korean won-based stablecoin that Shinhan issues and send them to an account at the partner bank. The recipient will then be able to receive the funds in a locally denominated stablecoin and exchange it for the local currency. The two banks will utilize the Hedera consensus service both to track and record transactions, confirm foreign exchange rate at the time of each transaction. If you're not aware, the remittance market is about $702 billion in 2020. We obviously know, being in the Ripple community and what XRP's utility is going to be facilitating, that there's a gigantic potential of a value mechanism for XRP to be that neutral bridge currency within the remittance corridors. And interestingly enough, we talked about Shinhan Bank. This goes back to 2018, and Shinhan Bank was also utilizing RippleNet. So this is literally called Ripple's diffusion phase from the SBI Group. Korea remittance experiment between 37 banks from the Japan Bank Consortium and two large Korean banks, which is Wori and Shinhan Bank. And DLT system on Microsoft Azure and Ripple Connect Cloud. Remittance status verified by banks, et cetera, et cetera. We talk about these older SBI documents are just absolutely insane. Now, this isn't definitively saying that XRP has to be used, but the next generation remittance platform by Ripple with distributed ledger technology XRapid, which obviously now has turned into on-demand liquidity, reinforced by the digital asset XRP. So this is all part of that diffusion phase. And it's interesting with the timing of the court hearing, everything else that's going on right now. One of my patrons actually shared a really interesting chart as far as kind of the top 10 digital assets that are not stable coins, and by ranking and the amount of time since all-time high. And I think that XRP's was right around 1,800 or it was some crazy number. We know it was, I think, January 6, 2018. Take a look at Hedera. Very crazy. We've got 13 governing board members that still have not been announced. And if you deal in their governing board members that are there right now, they're absolutely gigantic. DBS, Dentons, Deutsche Telekom, DLA Piper, EDF, FTPOS, which is essentially the entire ACH and debit card system of Australia and New Zealand as well, I believe. But I think that the Hedera ecosystem is just with Australia. I could be wrong. Fidelity Information Services, Google. I mean, you can run the gambit here. Tata is a giant. Standard Bank, Shinhan, we just saw. Nomura, LG, God, Wipro, God. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, Accenture, 3 days ago, still posting job possibilities for their organization that are dealing very much so in Ripple, and we can see that Ripple is very much so at the base infrastructure of a lot of what Accenture is trying to do from a payment scheme operating model framework standpoint. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I plan to make more soon. Sorry for being gone for a little bit, but I will try to make as many as I can as quickly as I can. I love you guys. Thanks. Bye.